The Constitutional Court has granted Parliament a 6-month extension to amend electoral laws. In 2020, the court found the Electoral Act was unconstitutional. It said it had to be changed to allow independent candidates to contest national and provincial polls. Now, One SA movement leader Mmusi Maimane is not happy. He says lawmakers have already been dragging their feet on the issue for too long. ENCA Govind Wittels is following developments and joins us now live. Govind, thanks so much for your time this afternoon. Perhaps just tell us why Mmusi Maimane is not happy.
Thank you so much, Heidi. Coming to you from Constitutional Hill here in Johannesburg, and he's not happy because the proposed amendments to the Electoral Act as they stand just don't go far enough and significantly impede the ability of independent candidates to firstly get represented in the National Assembly, but also just expects them to contest in constituencies that are the size of provinces, when initial reports recommended that they should be contesting in smaller constituencies about the size of district municipalities. That all sounds very complicated, but in essence here, Mmusi Maimane believes that parliamentarians in the National Assembly right now are accountable to political parties when they should be accountable to constituencies. He believes that people in ordinary communities should have the phone number of their MPs. They should be able to call them and raise their issues and expect to have those issues raised in the National Assembly on a national platform. He's known as a staunch critic of political parties and believe that people should be electing leaders directly. That's what he's fighting for the 2024 elections. He joined me now following this rally by the One South Africa movement here in Johannesburg. Mmusi, thank you so much for your time. So let's just begin with the Electoral Act. 6 months extension has been granted, but you're not happy with the amendments that have already been proposed. What's wrong with them?
No, ultimately the fight that they're trying to put forward is that it's impossible for anyone in an independent capacity to win. It still strengthens political parties and gives them the proportional vote, which allows them to benefit. Even if someone does an exceptional job in their community, nothing really changes. So to me, I think Parliament has failed the people. I think the bill that they're going to put forward will not pass constitutional muster. And more seriously, is that it puts challenges towards the 2024 election. And it's precisely why I think that we need to, in the next 6 months, have a CODESA about how we hold 2024 elections. But furthermore, I'll be going around to communities in South Africa to say, let's everybody come together, build a movement that can ultimately challenge to bring about change.
That is really the caveat. So even if they expect independent candidates to contest only in the provinces, One South Africa could then present a movement which independent candidates could gather under and then contest the elections to get into the National Assembly. You're looking for 200 across the country. You tried something similar in 2021 with local government elections. What's different about this campaign and these 200 candidates?
Yeah, again, the derivative here is to make sure we've got ethical leaders. We want people who come from their communities, and we want people accountable in their communities. So I'll be going across the country to identify the best in the country. But not only that, the difference here is that they'll only be contesting nationally, and we want to ensure that if they do not pass a bill that works, we give South Africans that alternative. Because the problems of this country is that we may have a failed government. Our state still works, but we need leadership that will change that. And so what is going to happen now in 2024 is that we've got to garner sufficient votes from citizens so that we can achieve that change. And we will put a bill back into Parliament that will force constituencies, ensuring that actually even the president one day can be directly elected.
Coming back to the bill, they've got a 6-month extension, and you've just hinted that it won't pass constitutional muster. I know One South Africa movement, supported by a number of civic organizations. If that bill is taken to the National Assembly and National Council of Provinces, would you as One South Africa consider challenging it in court?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the leadership there in Muzuli and Dr. Michael Louis, we've certainly looked at what the bill looks like. And at the end of the day, if it doesn't pass constitutional muster, we must challenge it. Because what we don't want to do is elections being set aside because they are unconstitutional. Our democracy, the biggest power that people have is their vote. We can have other institutions that emerge from the constitution, but if you want to solve state capture, you want to create employment, give the people the power. And so by taking it away, by passing bills that make that power less and less meaningful, is undermining the very fundamental of our democracy.
All right, thank you so much. That's Mmusi Maimane, is the chief activist for the One South Africa movement. Behind him are the supporters of the One South Africa movement. And Mmusi, from this rally, will be trying to go to communities across the country. He's looking for 200 activists that could stand in a national election. They'll build a campaign around them, and the difference is they'll contest as individuals, as people who will be held accountable individually by their constituencies, and not to be held accountable by political parties. So that's it from the One South Africa rally here at Constitutional Hill in Johannesburg, and we're expecting to hear more from the One South Africa movement once they've managed to find and select those candidates. It's back to you for now.
Thank you so much for that update, Govan Witsels. I think it's a very important discussion and developments that could possibly play out in the next couple of months.